So maybe you have been everything to everybody, and now you're finally at a place that you've decided to dedicate some time and some energy and some intention into your healing journey, maybe even some money. So if that's you, this video is for you. Yeah, if you are working on healing, I see you. Let's do this. But I also want to share with you some common mistakes that we can make as we are embarking upon our journey of healing. So I'm going to share, I think, about 5 or 6 mistakes that we can make. And if this is your first time here, my name is Dr. Nicole LaShawn. I'm a nurse practitioner. Here on this channel, I am helping Black women to create a life that we want to live rather than the one that has been assigned to us. I share things regarding health, wellness, travel, and nutrition. And so if that's something that you are interested in, please go ahead and like the video, share it with someone that you know, and please leave me a comment. Let me know what types of videos you enjoy and what things that you find helpful. So let's get into mistake number 1. And I am going to be looking down at my notes. This is the first one I wanted to start with. Mistake number 1 is thinking that it's too late. And I really wanted to start here because I know that there are a lot of us who believe that it's too late. That for some reason, wherever we're at in life, that it's too late for us to begin to heal that. Or we've been just dealing with it for so long that maybe we're thinking that it doesn't even make sense to rock the boat in that area and to work on change. And let me just be clear that healing has no deadline. That if you are here watching this video, it means that you have an opportunity to heal, to change, and to become into greater alignment with that which serves you, and come into greater alignment with the person that you see yourself becoming in the future. And that there is no deadline, there's no age limit. So whether you are 30, 40, 50, 60, or 70 years old, let me tell you that it's never too late, and that it's always worth it, as far as I'm concerned, to begin to do the process and begin to do the work. Because whether you like it or not, time is going to pass. Whether you're doing work to improve or to come into better alignment with where you see yourself going, the time is still going to pass. So not doing the work is really not going to save you any time. Let me just tell you that. So yes, it's never too late. You're not too old to start over. And also, I just want to let you know that wisdom comes with age. And so if you are now beginning to recognize or see things in a way that you previously didn't see things, or maybe it has finally just occurred to you that this is an area that needs to be healed or needs work or needs change, let me say that a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's maybe because you have lived long enough that you are now developing some wisdom in life. And that wisdom is working on your behalf. It's working to bring you into the greater version of yourself. It's working to open your eyes to things that you previously could not see, that some of your youth, right, could not afford to you. And so congratulations if you're just now seeing something that needs to be changed. It just means that you're on a journey and that you are in process and that you are growing. And that's never a bad thing. Also, let me say that you don't have to earn your healing through suffering for a long time. I think sometimes what I tend to see is that sometimes, especially we as women, and more specifically as Black women, we can sometimes feel like we have to go through a certain length of time of suffering before we can earn the privilege of healing. But let me tell you that healing is not a privilege, that as a human being, you are worthy of love, you are worthy of affection, you are worthy to walk in to the version of yourself that is fully healed and fully whole, and experience that no matter where you are. And so you deserve peace. You deserve it right now. You deserve to look forward to the future with hope and with anticipation of good things that it has to offer to you. You deserve to have good people around you who treat you in the way that you desire to be treated. and you deserve opportunities to grow and to advance and to flourish in this life. And so, yes, it is never too late. The second one that I want to say is that mistake number 2 is wearing this strong Black woman cape or mask and telling yourself that you don't need to be healed, that for some reason you are so strong that no matter what type of issues you are faced with and different crises that you have endured, that somehow you are built different and therefore you don't need to go through any healing. You don't need any type of work that would help to get you into better alignment. And it's interesting because I was actually recently having a conversation with someone, and after some incidences, and I was like, man, this is a lot that you are dealing with. And that person told me that they are just built different. They're built different and therefore it doesn't affect them. And for me, I'm personally thinking, that actually makes me more concerned, because it tells me that you're probably in survival mode, that you haven't even given yourself the space to feel the feelings and to acknowledge that they exist and to recognize that they are hurtful or uncomfortable, and then embark upon the journey of how to move through that. But when you are telling yourself that you don't feel anything, you don't experience anything, nothing hurts you, nothing bothers you, let me tell you that you are not superhuman. We are all human. And if we are on this journey of life, then there are going to be ups and there are going to be downs, and pain is a part of the process of this life. And so if you are denying yourself, number one, from feeling the pain, it means that there's a good chance that you're also denying yourself from feeling the love, because they are actually on a continuum. In order to experience some of the ups, you are vulnerable to some of the downs, and that's just what comes with the process. So let me tell you that it's okay to be soft. It's okay to feel fragile in certain situations, that you don't have to feel as though you are super strong and superhuman. Suppressing emotion is not a sign of strength. It's actually a sign that you're in survival mode. So I think it's okay to let yourself cry, allow yourself to grieve, go ahead and rest when you are experiencing different issues or crises in your life. And asking for help can be revolutionary. And it requires practice. And it's okay to allow yourself the opportunity to practice asking for help. And so if you haven't asked for help in a while, I would ask you, are you overextending yourself? Are you operating in survival mode? Who is it around you in your family or in your community now that you can think of whom you can ask for help, even just for practice, even for something small? Because I think it takes some time for us to get comfortable sometimes asking for help, especially when we're super independent, right? We've learned how to be super independent a lot of the time. And so it's okay. You're allowed to not be okay, to not be operating at 100% all of the time. Mistake number 3, and this is a big one, and that is healing in isolation. And I just want you to know that you don't have to carry the load alone, that you don't have to carry things in isolation when it comes to healing. You don't have to hide it or have shame. I think that what we're learning more so, especially in the last several years, is that healing, especially for us as women, I think is best done in community. That we heal the best when we are in community, when we're surrounded by people who help hold us up, that hold our hand, when we have shoulders to cry on. And I think that unfortunately, due to the history in that country, those are things that were robbed from us, right? And we started to become a people who tried to learn to live super independently and in isolation, but that is just not what's best for us culturally, right? And historically, we come from traditions of people who thrive in community and with family. And research would suggest, for the most part, that that's what's most healthy for most people, is to be in community with like people of similar background, similar language, and that's where you can find oftentimes the best resources and the best space to heal through whatever it is. So silence doesn't equal safety, and it often equals shame. So if you're not speaking about what it is that you need to heal through, there's a good chance that maybe you have some shame related to, and maybe you need to sit down and reflect on why you're hiding this. Why do you feel that this has to be kept so close to your chest? Why do you not feel comfortable sharing this with someone who can maybe help you through it? And definitely use your discretion, right, with regard to who you're sharing things with, but also thinking about who are some of the trusted people within your life that you can share things with, so you're not carrying the burden on your own. You're not carrying the weight of that on your own. So I would say also finding spaces where you feel comfortable, finding spaces where there are community that can help you, and that will help to get you through it. Mistake number 4 that I have on my list is neglecting your body. And this is something that I find can happen inadvertently, of course. We don't think about it, but definitely when we're in survival mode, all of our resources are focused on getting through the day-to-day activities, and oftentimes the body becomes neglected. But I think it's so important as a part of our healing process that we are paying attention to our body, that we are nourishing our body in the ways that we need to. You can't heal your mind while ignoring your body. And I firmly believe that trauma just doesn't live in your memory or in your mind, but that it also can live in your body, right? In your muscles, and it can come through as disease, as illness, as symptoms, and as sickness. And so it can really, really affect how you sleep, how you're breathing, and how you're thinking, how you're problem solving, your decision making, and those types of things, your stress levels, your cortisol levels, right? So I just want us to recognize that as we're on this healing journey and as we're committing time and intention to healing, it's very nourishing to also give some love and some attention to our bodies, giving our bodies some movement and some intention, some rest, some good nutrition, and some pleasure. And I don't want to leave that off, because I think that sometimes we can focus so much on the work of healing, and sometimes we're wired to believe that it's supposed to feel uncomfortable, it's supposed to feel bad, and not recognize that part of the healing process is experiencing pleasure. This is going to be something that's going to really, really positively affect the healing journey. So I would encourage you to, if you're thinking about healing, write down some things that bring you pleasure and make it part of your healing process to incorporate things that bring you pleasure, bring you physical pleasure. Write those things down so that you can incorporate those things. Your body deserves softness, not punishment. Your body deserves care and kindness and love and attention. And so, mistake number 5 that I have is expecting everyone to support you, or the new version of you. So when you start setting boundaries, which is a very common process and part of your healing journey, or when you start making changes, when you start doing things differently now than you used to do, don't expect everybody to support you, because they are not going to. They are accustomed to the old version of you, just like you are accustomed to the old version of you. And there's not going to be a party gathering around you as you're saying no or setting boundaries that are going to celebrate that. Just as much as it's uncomfortable for you, it's going to be uncomfortable for them. So to be honest, there are likely people who have benefited from your self-neglect or from your lack of taking time with yourself, for yourself, or prioritizing yourself. And trust me, they are not going to be happy when you start your process of healing. And so you might get pushback, but expect that. Don't shrink back. Don't start to change your mind and feel that this was the wrong idea or the wrong decision, but stand firm in that which you are working towards and recognize it's going to be part of the process. And just as you change, there's likely going to be change in them. And if not, then you'll know how to move on from that as well. And decide that you're going to grow anyway. Decide that you're going to change anyway. And that you don't need someone's permission or validation or agreement in order for you to heal. Because if you're waiting for that, there's a good chance that that may never come. So I would encourage you to release the idea that healing is going to be a comfortable and easy process, but recognize that it is going to be a rewarding process and is going to be worth your effort, your energy, and you're gonna have some wins, right, along this process, and they're going to be beautiful, and I encourage you to celebrate them along the way. Number 6 mistake, I would say, using social media as your therapy. Don't do that. That's not the best thing. I know that we are in a time in our culture where getting on social media, especially when we're particularly emotional, particularly distraught over some certain things, it's very common for people to pick up their cameras and start recording. And while I recognize that there are times and places for that, when it comes to your healing journey, you're going to want to be very intentional with regard to not using social media as your medium for healing. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't share there or you can't walk through certain processes, but I would say make sure that you give yourself adequate time and space to process emotions, especially emotions that are particularly strong or particularly new, before exposing them on social media, because there's a chance that you may have a change of heart or a change of feelings or a change in a way that you would have preferred to communicate that or share that. And I believe, frankly, that you want to share kind of your wins, and you want to put yourself in a position where you're not just trauma dumping on people or, dragging people along, but rather that you're able to share what you garner from the experience, how you've grown, and what you've learned. And so it's okay to keep certain things private. It's okay to have sacred spaces when you're dealing with things that are particularly difficult. And if you're someone who's often in front of people, I think it's good sometimes to take a step away when you're going through particularly difficult times. So share your story when it's appropriate, but you don't want to be bleeding all over people, right? You don't want to be doing that. And the final mistake that I have and I want to share with you today is ignoring your intuition and your body's voice. And if you've been to my channel before, you know that this is something that I really, really feel is really important for us to listen to. That our body oftentimes knows what it is that we need. It has a voice of its own, and it's always talking to us. And I know that many of us were taught to not trust our inner voice or not trust our intuition for many reasons. And the true reason is because other people benefit from us not using our intuition. But I think it is really good for us as we're embarking upon our healing journey to begin to incline our ear to our bodies, to begin to practice again what it feels like to listen to our bodies and to begin to trust that inner voice. And so sometimes it's kind of paying attention to when we are feeling uncomfortable, that tightness in our shoulders, that tension in our chest, that flutter in our stomach. Those are all messages. And I just think it's important for us to begin to pay attention, to reconnect with those types of things that connect us with our own bodies, like through breath work or meditation or just sitting in stillness or journaling, to be able to reconnect with our thoughts and begin to to make connections again with what the things we're feeling in our body and how it relates to what we're experiencing externally, because sometimes it's difficult if we have ignored that for a long time. And that doesn't mean that that's a bad thing, but it just means we're in a great place to begin to relearn, right, and to unlearn some things that we've that have maybe become normal for us in the past, and begin to relearn how to reconnect with our bodies. So in closing, let me just say that if you're here and you're embarking on a healing journey, I want to just say congratulations. Welcome to this. And I just hope that you experience a greater version of yourself. And I want you to know that you are worthy, that you deserve peace, that you deserve love, that you deserve joy, and that all those things are available to you and to us in abundance. And I look forward to sharing more about healing on this channel with you. If that's something that you are interested in, please go ahead and subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know how your healing journey is going, or what you would encourage us as women to do to help us to heal, or if you have some recommendations or things that have really worked that you are finding valuable, please drop them and let me know, because this journey is not always easy, and we're in this together. So till next time, bye.